Next up, you know him as Cobra. Welcome, Michael Wilson. Please welcome Vogue, Suzanne Cox. And Panther, Helen O'Reilly. And last but not least, please welcome Hunter James Crossley. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to make sure this is as interactive as possible, so we've set up microphones on the left and the right. Please don't be shy, come up and ask a question. But before we begin, I have been given a note, a very special note. Can I get an ooh? This is a new development. The note reads as such. A little birdie, Jet, has told me it's a very special birthday coming up for Miss Vogue.
I hate you all.
Vogue, if you're nasty, and we have got a present from your Gladiators family. Give a round of applause for our birthday girl.
It's my 21st. Woo!
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday,
dear Vogue and Sue.
Happy birthday to you. Round of applause for our birthday girl.
so much.
And here's your vodka.
There's your vodka.
It's
Now
not.
it's a party.
It's not. It's gin.
Yes. Well, we're going to get some
She's
questions
not gonna
from the
open it
fans,
now.
but happy birthday. Are you totally surprised?
I am. I had no idea.
I love it.
I've got some earrings bought for me earlier by them as well, which says kill, which is nice. Which is nice. Nice friends.
It was a horror store.
Happy,
a lot of
what I
choice.
assume is your 29th birthday,
No,
my
it's
dear.
my 21st.
Oh,
actually.
21st.
Thank you. Yeah, how dare you.
Fantastic. Well, again, guys, don't be shy. We've got our microphones ready for our Q&A, so please come ask a question. But let's go down the line here. How have you been enjoying Comic-Con Aberdeen?
My goodness, I think out of all of the ones I've been lucky enough to be invited to, this has been my favourite. Give yourselves a clap. You've made us so welcome today. I'm a big Scotland lover. I've been holidaying in Scotland for about 30 years, and I'm so envious. It's the most beautiful country. I am a Sassenach. You can call me that, but one day I'll be an honorary Scot. Thank you.
My name's Wilson with 2 L's, so I'm from Scottish heritage. Via Norway and Denmark, of course. Originally a Viking. I've never done any raping or pillaging.
Family show,
I don't know
family
about...
show.
What is pillaging? Anyway, I love this type of thing here at these Comic-Cons, especially here, sitting there, people telling you you're a legend. That's what it sounded like. And, ask for your autograph. It's wonderful. I mean, you do deserve something great in your lives from me. And I like to give out love and goodwill. And shall I shut up?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cobra.
I'll pass it to my sensible friends.
Hello. Well, thank you so much for my birthday singing. That was very, very, very nice of all of you. I've loved it. This is my first ever Comic-Con ever. These guys are sort of old pros at going to Comic-Cons, but this is my first one. So thank you for inviting me to Aberdeen. It's my first one. It's been brilliant. The costumes have been my favourite bit. Everybody's costumes. We have Maleficent down there, down the front, looking fabulous. So we actually, for once, feel completely blandly dressed compared to normal. So next Comic-Con, we're upping our game, aren't we? Yes.
Yeah, we've discussed the outfits and we think we might come dressed up at the next one.
Trying to persuade Panther to come as a whole Panther cat.
Yeah, they may have persuaded me, but yeah, I come up to Scotland quite a lot. I do judging at bodybuilding shows, so I'm up here in about 3 or 4 weeks' time to Dundee. So I fly into Edinburgh and go across to Dundee. But yeah, we've done a few Comic-Cons together, haven't we, James? I'll pass you over to young Hunter.
Yes, so lovely to see the amazing outfits, everybody. I mean, Captain America over there. Let's give him a round of applause. Stand up so we can see the outfit. That is amazing. Look at that.
Yes.
Some fabulous outfits. And yeah, when you see people walking around, look, we've got the Crazy Fox over there. Just some brilliant outfits. Look at that. But Scotland are very fond to me. I was a strongman for about 10 years, and I came here doing a stone lifting tour, I think 3 times. And anybody know the Dinny Stones, which are only down round the corner from here? Yeah. So I was lifting those a few times and still paying the price for it now. But yeah, thank you so much, because it's you guys that make this all happen. So give yourselves a round of applause. Woo! Thank you so much for coming to support the show. It's great to see you all. Great to meet you all.
Well, this is, of course, one of our star-studded panels, but we have a lot of celebrities here at Comic-Con, and you have definitely been at some Comic-Cons with me before. What has been your fangirl or fanboy moment, either at a Comic-Con or in the entertainment industry? Someone that we would call it marking out in wrestling, that you fangirled over? They could be here. It could have been this con.
It's you, Val. I was asked to do some wrestling in a show called Trafford Tansy, and Toya Wilcox, does anybody remember her? In the 70s, I think it was written. She was the original actress in this play. I was useless. I always need a pugil stick or a hang tough rig. I don't know how you guys did it at all.
yes.
And I actually got quite injured doing the wrestling.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But I could do, is it the clothesline?
Yes.
Yes, I could do that.
I tried to stay away from anything too athletic. I bruise like a peach. That's why I'd rather be a talker. But is there anyone here or at any Comic-Con that you've met that you had a fangirl moment over or a fanboy moment over? Any actors, celebrities?
RoboCop the other night in the hotel.
RoboCop, yes!
Yeah.
I'm going, it's RoboCop, it's RoboCop. Don't look. I was just like,
He was filming him. It was so embarrassing. He stood there, RoboCop, and he's got his camera like that. And he's on video, and he's got his chest. He's this close.
I like RoboCop. What can I say? It's a brilliant film.
We were brought up with things like Back to the Future and Star Wars. So lovely to meet those people, because they were films that we were brought up around.
Icons.
Yeah. Legends indeed. Well, we have a lot of genres here, whether it be Star Wars, Harry Potter, Star Trek. What were you guys into as kids? I know there's a lot of young viewers here. What was your sort of TV show, films that you liked growing up?
Wonder Woman, for me, as girls, obviously.
Absolutely
Wonder Woman.
the same.
I used to do the
Man.
spin the whole time.
Yeah.
Wonder
Biker
Woman.
Grove.
Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Even 5.
Well, that wasn't very good, actually. Rocky.
Rocky.
Planet of the Apes.
Oh.
I love Planet of the Apes.
Bought him a chimpanzee mask today, specifically thinking of that.
Yeah. Well, just cover up this mug of mine now.
Can't
Now
tell
I'm
whether he's wearing the mask or not.
Are you going to show them your...
And Star Trek, and
Oh,
I
brilliant.
met William Shatner. I was, Captain, yeah, thank you. You met him too, lovely fellow, isn't he? Oh yes. We're fans of people off the TV and film, and we get as excited as anyone else.
Yeah.
They get excited every time they see me. It's embarrassing it sometimes. Stalking my hotel room and everything. Don't blame them.
It's
I'll pay
important
him.
to share that, though, that even you guys get starstruck, because we have a lot of people here that are a bit shy, and they think they're the only ones that actually, have those fangirl, fanboy moments, but happens to all of us. And by the way, guys, the microphones are there if you want to ask a question. I'm going to go right into a question you probably get a lot about Gladiators. How physically grueling was it?
Well, I had to quit the show after an accident. So, and as much prep as you can do, nothing actually prepares you for the actual combat, because none of it was acted. Once that whistle went, you had 30 seconds or a minute to prove yourself, often involving 30-foot-high falls, tumbling up and down apparatus with another human being or two. And you can't kind of pre-choreograph or plan any of that, and none of us wanted to lose. So it was like, as soon as that whistle went, it was all out, because we had kind of a score tariff, and they said, oh, it's nice when a gladiator loses every so often, but if you did it too often, they'd call you into the office. So,
That'd be me.
That was, yeah.
Sorry.
I did not know that. That's a Comic-Con exclusive. Thank you.
Me? It was always hard work practicing those games. I used to like to have fun and muck about with my friends here. But if we didn't, wasn't that successful, we would get our P45. And for those people who don't know what that is, that's the sack. But it's a lot of fun. It's like going away with all your pals, on a school holiday for me.
Well, that's what's nice about this, that we've all got to meet up again, and we get to meet at these events, because some of us don't see each other that often, and it's actually nice to catch up, although he does talk quite a lot, this one, as you may have noticed. I like to
I
talk.
wore my tongue out last summer. Talk through my nose.
The good thing about it was the shows were filmed with a live audience there, so we had interaction from the crowd, and there was banners and cheers and boos for Wolf, of course. Yeah. Yeah. So
He's
yeah,
horrible,
there were
Wolf.
long days. They were grueling, but as he said, we're all friends, so it's like going to work with your friend, isn't it? So that's a nice thing to do. And we've stayed in touch, and we're in our 30th year anniversary this year.
That deserves a round of applause. That's amazing. 30 years.
That's impossible because I'm 21. How's that happened?
Yeah, we
Your
filmed 2 shows a day, and each show took about 5-6 hours. So we weren't filming. A lot of people thought we were filming every Saturday, but we actually filmed the whole series in about 2.5 weeks. So if you got injured in an early show, you'd be out the whole series because it was all done in that 2.5 weeks. So we had to be very careful with, falling was the biggest injury thing, wasn't it? Falling off the events, coming off, getting a back injury or a neck. So yeah, had to be really careful, but it was all quite intense for those 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
A lot of health and safety.
Right. We've got a question right over here on the left.
Hello, it's a Jedi.
What was your favourite events on the show? For each of you?
Good question.
For me, it had to be Hang Tough. I say it was my favourite, but it was a really quite high-profile event, wasn't it? And what you didn't see from the cameras, we had like 9 cameras filming every one event live on 35mm, which we didn't have digital in those days. So there was no retakes, there was nothing else you could do. So it was really nerve-wracking. And when you're swinging across that rig, you can't hide. And what you can't see on camera is as soon as I'd take off, my legs would go really straight, and I'd sort of counterbalance myself like a monkey to try and reach the next ring. But what you can't see is the fact my feet are like that, shaking. I think it was adrenaline. I'd like to think it was nerves, actually. That's fine.
Pyramid. I used to like to do the pyramid, but most of it. And there's a game where we had a tennis gun, danger zone, and they used to go at 100 miles an hour. So you catch a contestant in the right spot.
It's like early Nerf gun.
They used to edit that. It's not because I'm spiteful or nothing. Shooting contestants in the gulagongs.
For me, Hang Tough as well. Diane and I are both gymnasts, so that sort of worked for us. But I actually really love Gauntlet. Because there's 5 of us against 1, so it's a little bit unfair on the contender. But there's like 5, it was like going in. No, come on, we're gladiators. It's our job. It was like 5 of us, like going into battle almost. So we had all the whole body armor and the helmets and everything, and the music, the adrenaline, and it's a team one. So for me, that works.
Yeah, and the other team wants Powerball, so we were often in teams together as 3. So it's really nice to go out with your friend, get dressed up, have your armor on, and just feel tough and go out against the contenders. But they were absolutely fantastic. They were brilliant athletes themselves, so we didn't have it easy. Every game we were being injured, weren't we? So, but the team games were fun.
Yeah, I think the duel. Do you remember the duel? I mean, that was a really fun one because it was like 1 against 1, toe to toe, and there was no hiding from it. So I think the duel, it did get your adrenaline going, but it was visually a very exciting game.
We've got a question over here. Thank you, sir. Jedi. We've got a question on the right.
Mr. Cobra Kai.
Hi, so I wasn't here when it was made. Can you show me your favorite signature move?
Where were you?
It wasn't even a glint in someone's eye then, was you?
Where have you been?
I can't. I've got 2 new hips. I want to save these. I've got 2 titanium
He would have done a
hips.
Cobra Kai move,
So
definitely.
I used to do a bit of kicking. I can't now, not really. It'd be a bit
Spinning
quite
kick.
low.
Spinning kick would have been his.
And he did the splits.
Yeah.
That's probably why he needed
I
2
set
new hips.
I set the metal detector off at the airport because of this. I did. I was ridiculously made up for it. That's brilliant.
It's a new Iron
Got
Man.
no hips.
And I used to do an aerial cartwheel, and I have a knee injury at the moment, so
We're all old. Very
I
old.
used to do backflips, and I can't do them anymore.
What a lie! That is a
Sorry.
lie.
I can't think of anything to do at my age that
Yeah, the
would
floor's
be
too
impressive.
hard.
Voguing, obviously, to be Vogue.
health and
but
safety.
yeah.
Health and safety.
James, what was yours?
I just did like a bow and arrow like
You
this.
did like that.
Yeah. Was it bow and arrow? Yeah, that's it. Mine was a lot less hectic than all theirs.
Usain Bolt stole it from you, didn't he? Yeah. Usain.
Yeah, Usain Bolt stole it
Stole
from
it.
me.
The hunter's move.
Thank you.
Not around.
Yes.
Have you
Is
got
it
a,
right?
have
Sorry.
you got a
Woo,
signature
thank you.
move? What would yours
Have you
be?
got
You
one?
haven't. You have to think of one.
We'll come back
Young
to
lady.
you. We've got a question over here on the left for this lovely princess.
Hello.
What did you have to do? What did you have to do for an audition for Gladiators?
Fantastic question. I think for
We
us-
tried out together.
Yeah, it was all a bit different for us all. I think we were up first.
And Helen?
Yeah, and Helen as
Yeah,
well.
I was away when they did the first audition, so I was one of the last ones, but we had to
Yeah.
climb her up as high as this ceiling.
3 times.
I had to do lots of pull-ups, had to do some speed tests, and then we had to speak in front of the camera to see if we would be okay on TV. So there was a lot involved, your personality as well as your fitness.
Yeah.
Are you fit?
Yeah.
What
Show
sport?
me your fitness.
What sport do you do? Do you do a sport?
Sometimes I play football
Good.
and
Tyson Fury's sparring partner.
I like running around and my favorite thing to do on sports is burpees. I like burpees.
Burpees?
Burpees.
Wow,
Burpees.
you
Burpees.
super.
Burpees. Burpees.
Can you show us a burpee?
Come on.
Woo! She's off.
Give her a round of
Woo!
applause.
Yay! Brilliant. Burpees. Burpees are
What
hard.
would be your gladiator name?
Yes.
Olivia, my name's Olivia.
Oh, Olivia Gladiator. Burpee
She's Olivia.
Gladiator. Thank you.
Another round of applause for Olivia.
Yeah.
Yes, great job. We've got a lovely lady with a question on the right.
Where did you get your gladiator name from?
Ooh, it kind of links in with my answer to the last question as well. We did gym tests and Woolwich Barracks Army Assault Course for my tryouts. And apparently I was quick, so they called me Jet. Yes.
They was 4 hours long, actually. No, the tryouts, it's 4 hours it took.
I know it did take
And it was
4 hours,
really
yeah.
hot. I was really hot because there's lots of young ladies.
Cobra.
going
Cobra.
stuff and going
Cobra.
up and down and
Cobra.
backwards and-
Family show.
Sorry.
How did you get your name Cobra?
Well, I was told. I thought it was an American gladiator. There was an American gladiator called Cobra before our show started. But I was told from somewhere that Bob Monkhouse, who was friends with Nigel Lithgow,
These are old
suggested my
people.
name. Yeah, Bob Monkhouse. He was a comedian, really talented. So I don't know really.
And I was Storm originally. Storm for 2 weeks. And then they realised there was in Australia, they also had a show, Gladiators, and they had a Storm there. And we were going over there to film, so they thought we need to change a name, can't have 2 Storms. So they came up originally with the name Jade. And we were like, well, I think with Jet, Precious Stone, Jade, they were trying that. And I was like, well, it's a bit too similar. So they said, come up with your own name. I wanted to be an evil spirit, but they didn't like that. So they went, okay, you're going to be Vogue, and that's it. That's how my name came about.
Yeah, they had a bunch of names that they wanted to use, and they tried to fit to our personalities. I turned up in a black cat suit for the interview because that's what I wore back then, believe it or not. And they thought cat or panther, and I said, oh, I don't really like cat. I think panther's better. So I got to choose my name pretty much out of 2.
Yeah, the producers had a pool of names and they would decide. So I was initially called Trident, and then they changed my name to Hunter because we had a Trojan and they were too close. But I think basically the production team sat around a table with a bottle of port and just came out with these names. And they had a pool that they liked, and then they would kind of find the right, like Wolf looked quite like a wolf, didn't he? So they would
Certainly
try
did.
and give you a name that was relevant to you.
He's horrible.
What would your gladiator name be? What do you think? Come back to us at the end.
Wolf ain't really horrible. Mind you, he did used to send himself hate mail. I've been telling that 25 years.
As you can see, we're all like that again.
Feeling the love. We've got a question on the left.
I just wanted to know, do you have the speed, the strength, the heart to be a winner?
Depends who's getting the rounds in.
Hey!
Very good, very good.
For those that don't know, that was part of the theme tune, and they're my favourite lyrics. I was chanting as we were walking on
champions
stage.
of different things beforehand, so that's how we got chosen. So, world aerobics champion, top bodybuilder, mixed martial artist.
I had 20 boxing matches and 20 knockouts.
Just special.
Then I won one.
Before you had 2 false hips.
And Dan is a super, super gymnast, dancer, star. That's it.
Multi-talented.
Flexibility counts. We've got a question on the right.
Oh,
thank you, sir.
What is your hardest event that you have to do?
Well, I didn't like heights, so anything high up. Me and another guy called Warrior realised when we were on the show that we were both scared of heights. So I had to just overcome it there and then. So anything tall was
I didn't
high.
like heights, but because I was the youngest, they put me on all the ones that were tall. So I didn't really have a lot of
the
choice.
biggest, weren't you? And the bestest.
Yeah, for me, I wasn't. The Duel, I know, is your favourite game, and it's the iconic one that everybody always associates with Gladiator. I was rubbish at it. I don't know why, because I don't know. They're
good at everything.
No, but I just found it really. That was probably the one that I found the hardest to actually do, and nothing to do with. Tall girls tended to get on better with it, but I just, for some reason, I was better at more the agility, swinging around, jumping, throwing myself about ones. Standing, just whacking people was the.
Because we're not mean.
Was not me.
Pole acts I didn't like this, like a 40-foot spin. Was it more than that? Might have been 40-foot spinning pole, and it had these things you put your feet on and spin. And if the contestant gets to the top, it'd press a button and they go in. So you fall 40 foot. Why? Hold on! Into an airbag.
Yeah, onto an airbag.
And if you hit it wrong, but in the beginning we didn't have a safety harness. We just had to fall 30 foot into an airbag. If you hit it wrong, it was really painful. It's like getting hit with a baseball bat at the side.
But even if you won that event, you still had to fall.
To jump.
Kind of lose-lose.
Yeah, but the difference between jumping down and falling down is slightly different. You
I
still had to
never
come
ever
down.
won one though, so I weren't flash like you.
And
Sorry.
when they first rigged this, I think it cost quite a few thousand to rig all these new and different events. So they hadn't really experimented with this one before. And they'd put the crew on these events to try out before we did. They were like our fodder. So the first time I did Polax, the brief was when you land on an airbag, has anyone done any stunt work? Oh,
Olivia did.
Where she
Tyson's.
Olivia did. So when you land on an airbag, you keep your body stiff and rigid, like that sort of thing. And I forgot the brief. So I fell. It was about 30 foot, wasn't it? And I just sort of collapsed in on myself. And of course, I was a little bit flexible. So my knee hit my nose. And I could see the nose out of one eye. And Kate, who played Zodiac, crawled onto the airbag because I think I was groaning a little bit. And I went, Kate, Zodiac, please tell me my nose isn't broken. She went, Jet, your nose is broken.
And I said, it looks nice.
You did.
You never look better.
You said you
I
look
tried to
great.
make her feel. I didn't want to say, "Oh my God." Looks like you've gone 10 rounds with Tyson. I didn't want to say that.
Very kind of you. We've got a question on the left.
Yeah, this is a two-part question. Oh. Do you miss performing? Do you miss performing?
Yeah, it was fun. A lot of it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think when you're doing the show, you don't quite realise what amazing job it actually is. Obviously, you appreciate what you're doing, but we're sort of doing it every year and a few times a day, doing the shows. You're sort of in the show. When you step away from it, it's gone. And then I think we're all either sports people or performers, so we really enjoy doing that. So I think I definitely have missed being on stage.
You get nervous. And most of it's worried about looking at Wally. Because you've got to remember, some of us had bikinis on and little lycra stuff, and it's embarrassing at the best of times. But once everyone understood what it was, in the first year when we had to go and do personal appearances, I had a two-piece, like bikini
outfit.
When a lot of people know what that's all about. Why is this fella walking around in a bikini? And half of it for me was on that show doing the games. It's not looking silly, but I soon learned to have no shame whatsoever. Now it doesn't matter.
What's the second part?
And also, I know you're all old, but would you?
Die, please.
How dare you?
Hold this.
How dare you?
Hold on. No, he's right.
That way.
Security.
Would you ever?
Older than we were.
Would you ever bring the show back?
If we had like 20, 30 million, no, I'd keep it and run away.
I think because it's the 30-year anniversary this year when the show started, so I think to come back and do something, but I don't think any of us, well, James might be an exception.
James could do it.
James Hunter might be an exception, but none of us, we'd all probably,
go on, then.
we'd quite like to be team mentors maybe. We could mentor the new wave of gladiators possibly with our experience.
If you ever see Wolf, tell him I said hello.
We will.
We will. Thank
I'll
you.
text him later.
Bless you. Thank you.
The horrible one, right?
Yeah, that horrible. My old granddad Wolf.
Another question here on the left. Talking of old. Okay, we'll go to the right. Thank you, sir.
My auntie's too scared to answer this, so she said,
Hello, Aunt.
how comfortable were the costumes and how could you stay in them?
What's your auntie's name? Hello,
Bum
auntie. We're going to embarrass you now.
Oh, it's my auntie Joan.
Auntie Joan. Hi, Auntie Joan.
Well, the girls you were stuck in your costumes, weren't you?
Oh, bumstick.
Yeah. We had something called bumstick. Can you imagine what that might be?
Yeah, I'm always imagining
Toupee
it.
tape.
It was
as well.
glue. it was like a roll-on.
Toupee tape.
Didn't look great.
I used toupee tape.
So
but
the
I did
costumes-
come out once.
Yeah,
It
to
was
keep them
a bit
stuck.
embarrassing.
The costumes were comfortable because they were designed for us and what we'd prefer to have necessarily, roughly. Maybe not the boys, but the girls. We got
It
to,
was more
we got
one
to
size
choose.
fits all, wasn't it? One size fits
We
all.
got to choose ours. The boys were like, wear that. Yeah, they were comfortable. They weren't very strong though, so it was slightly worrying sometimes when you're doing some of the games and people are pulling and you're wrestling, that type of thing. They weren't particularly strong lycra, but yeah.
Thank you, Auntie Joan.
Thanks,
Round of
Auntie
applause
Joan.
for Auntie Joan, by the way.
Yay!
And the fact that he called her out. Love it. Question on the left.
Hiya, Jet. I'm a big fan.
We met earlier.
Should we leave now? Let's go.
Shall we leave the room?
I just wanted to ask, what was your experiences with like health and safety back then, compared to what it'd be like now? Do you think they could bring back Gladiators with what health and safety is like now?
Did you see our
because
faces?
there was
We all
so
went.
many injuries, wasn't there? Well, you've mentioned a few of your injuries, but I don't think any of us escaped injury at all. And health and safety suddenly came in, and a lot of the games were taken out.
Yeah, a bit of nightmare.
And
now
I think they
to be able
filmed
to do.
a show called Wipeout in Argentina because their laws are less than ours. So I don't think it could come back the same way, could it?
Which is a shame.
No, we used to do these celebrity specials. We get these footballers and rugby players, but they're not allowed to do it now because of health and safety. So you'd get a different kind of clientele, I think. Yeah.
Wusses.
They're too scared.
Good question.
Thank you. We've got a lovely lady over here.
Check
to
out
the
these
left.
leggings.
Hi,
Check
Claire.
out these leggings.
This is
Check out
Claire.
those
There we go.
leggings.
She's outdoing us on the whole gladiator outfit already.
Brilliant.
I was just going to ask, what was your most memorable moment from your time on Gladiators? Good or bad, or both?
I was just telling him to be careful how he answers that question.
We got to travel a lot, and we did shows in Australia, and we did shows in South Africa, and we used to go to Mauritius. So for me, the travel was amazing to meet all these people and go to different countries. Yeah.
I got to meet the Queen at the Royal Tournament. Yeah, that was good. I had the Royal lineup. I had to go and do duel, which I was rubbish at, as we've obviously established, against one of the army girls. But it was more for sort of just a sort of entertainment bit in the middle of the Royal Tournament show. And I got to do the lineup with the Queen and Prince Philip afterwards in my gladiator costume, which I didn't feel too bad about because there was a man standing next to me in a grass skirt. So I was like, okay, I feel okay. And the Queen came past and she says, oh, it's not very ladylike, is it? And I was like, what? Prince Philip enjoyed it better, I have to say. He really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the travel was fantastic. Us three went to Mauritius
yeah.
first on a photo shoot.
Photo shoot. That was
So
really hard. It was really
amazing,
hard.
and we got to know each other a lot better. I shared a place with Diane Jed, and we met the Baywatch crew, so that was
Yes.
fun. And then we went back with the rest of the gang, so we went to Mauritius a couple of times. So that was fantastic.
Amazing.
And I think one of my favourite moments was going to do the Ashes in Australia. We went to Brisbane and Sydney. Just the hospitality was fantastic. They have bats the size of crows. Do you remember those? And I got to drop a Harley Davidson. I've always wanted to ride motorbikes. I can now, but back then I didn't realise just quite how heavy they were. And it was actually one of the prizes that you'd win on the show. Dropped it in front of everybody. That was me.
Thank you. You got another. Fantastic. We have time for one more question, right? Go ahead.
So, because we're at Comic Con, if you could be a superhero or like star in a movie, what would it be, or who would it be?
A movie superhero or
Either.
in real life, a superhero?
Any.
Oh, I'd like to be Superman. That's it. That would be fantastic, being able to fly everywhere.
I was obsessed with the Hulk as a child. He was like my hero.
Don't make me angry.
Yeah. But I think He-Man or Thor, I would quite like to.
Thor, yeah.
Thor,
I'd
that'd
quite
be
like
cool.
Thor. I just quite like Thor, actually.
Yeah.
I don't need to be him.
No, Superman's the governor.
Catwoman for me. Yeah.
Ooh, you would make an excellent Catwoman. Can you
One.
picture
We've
that?
already got one. Panther's our Catwoman. We don't need one.
I know,
Who needs
sorry.
Catwoman? We got Panther.
Thank you so much for your
Who
question.
would you?
Great question.
Who would you like to portray or be?
Come on, Claire.
Yeah, probably like a sort of. Well, here in Scotland, we had this thing ages ago, super grand. So
Yes.
Ah.
a sort of Scottish super.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Like it.
You got a few years yet before the granny bit comes in.
Thank you so much. Great question. And thank you so much to our amazing panel of UK Gladiators. And guys, they're here for the rest of the day. So make sure you get an autograph and a photo op.
Thank you.
You know them as Jet, Cobra, Vogue, Panther, and Hunter. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Keep the applause going for our real life superheroes right here. Amazing panel of gladiators.